Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to some crazy little shitbag cars. Demonetized. Oops. We are at South Central Los Angeles, Ohio of Miami Beach. And I am very attractive. With me, as always, is noted 80s guy with just a touch of bonitis, Michael Magus.
Just a touch of bonitis, but I'll get it cured once they have the cure for it. But then I'll forget, because I'm bringing my 80s guy business routine to the future where we make a lot of money, but then I die of bonitis.
Correct.
And I must say, dying of bonitis looks exceedingly painful.
I mean, he does just kind of like implode.
Pretty much. Like it does seem like one of the darkest ways to go I've ever seen in a cartoon, which is saying something. Because
It is the darkest timeline.
I've watched some things and some stuff, and I wouldn't recommend all of it. Alrighty, well, we're here at Mid-Ohio as my co-commentator, my consigliere of comedy.
Is this Ohio of Ohio, or is this Miami of Ohio?
This is in actual.
Miami?
This is in actual Ohio, the actual like home of Cleveland, Cincinnati, Ohio.
But is that in Miami?
I don't think it's in Miami, Ohio. Let me have a look.
I don't know. I don't understand anymore. It is the
Mid-Ohio is located in Lexington, Ohio.
So not Miami.
Not Miami.
Of Ohio.
Nothing to do with Miami.
Sports are weird.
We're in our second round of the Group 2 Scirocco Cup that we got going here. Richard DeRoche enters today leading the championship by 10 points over Dennis Johnson, and 5 points further back is Andrew D. And sure enough, well, Richard down in 7th place here in qualifying. Dennis Johnson and Andrew D on the front row. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be some championship potential switching here. Martin Edmonds, James Butler, row 2. Magic Kashchuk, Ariel Zatoni, 3. DeRoche's with Steve Davidson. Then it's John Barker and Corey Arnaud. We're going with Arnaud until we're provided something else. Scott Nick and Zach Hemstrom. The return of Zach Hemstrom. Row number 6, and I did not catch the rest of the qualifying, but you know what? I can look on Race App. No, I can't. It has not been attached here. Interesting. Okay, I can't. I can't do it now. This is rude.
You are not able to.
Let me. I might be able to find. Might be able to find it somewhere here. But it looks like the file just hasn't been uploaded. So Dark Side, I'm not going to be able to give you like a standings update at the end of this whole shenanigans. And that feels a little bad. I feel a little bad about that.
Is it the place you love so much with all the goofy shit on the walls?
Not those shenanigans. So, we got the warm-up here, and I'll talk about the track real quick, and we'll go through some things here. This is Mid-Ohio. It's a twisty, nightmarish track if you can't get it right, because the S's are really challenging. That's the area that you're seeing here with James Butler, and remember that number 31 car is. Not a lot of great overtaking opportunities without having the assistance of a mistake from the car you're facing off with. So there is that. But we've had some really good racing here over the times, and I have no doubt that this will be quality as well. And we've also been promised carnage, so there's that.
I'm looking forward to it. And I'm not wearing any pants.
Let's see. Notably absent, I didn't see Matthew Lehman on the grid. He's in 6th place in the championship. Or Gerardo Duval, who's in 7th. Or Mauricio Delgado. So, a couple of top 10s are missing. And it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I think this is a top 10 reverse grid 2-race format. But I could be wrong. Top 12. We'll find out. Zachary Wolf sporting I like that car. It's a very nice livery.
Not too bad at all.
So, good to see Zachary back out on track. We were hoping to see him after not seeing him in the opening round. A little disappointed to see that Will Yarrington, who was present for the Aragon races, is absent. So hopefully he joins up with us at some point once again. Also appears this is an alternate layout of the track with the lacking the hook, the keyhole turn, which normally serves as turn 2. So this is the sprint layout, I think, is the word. It's either sprint or short track. I don't know. It's the short layout, whatever that's called. There you go.
You got to sprint over the long track, and therefore it's technically a half marathon, and not a sprint at all.
So 13 turns, and we're forming up the grid here. Byron, who you liking the chances of here?
Well, I mean, that young David Hasselhoff in that weird car that keeps talking to me is pretty good. I think I'll go with him.
Wow. I feel like some racing game probably does need to introduce a Kit Cup, where you're just racing. You're racing like famous cars from TV shows.
I think they should all be Kit, and they all talk to each other.
That'd be interesting.
So the closer you get to somebody, if you're going to go past them, Kit starts shit talking the other Kit.
That would be interesting.
And it's just so loud that your onboard navigator programs that you guys use just get drowned out.
Well, there's no way to guarantee that because you just turn it down.
Nope. Not regulatable.
Well, here we go. We got our 15-man grid, and or at least I assume 15-man grid, and we got red lights, and we are green to go here at Mid-Ohio. Love that smoke coming off these cars. These old school cars definitely bring a special kind of enjoyment to it. Dennis Johnson appears to have gotten the jump from the pole and has a good lead heading into turn number 2.
Oh yeah.
I may misnumber some turns here because the track layout I hear has the keyhole in it, and we're not using the keyhole, so everything's one off of where it is on my screen. I will try to remember that. Andrew D in second place, followed by Martin Edmonds, James Butler, Richard DeRoche, the championship leader, is up to 5th place. He is the black and yellow car there, followed by Magic Kazchuk. Then it is Zatoni, Barker, Arnaud, and Hemstrom, your top 5, or top 10. Also good to see David James, my 3D Speed teammate out there. He'll be racing with me at Kalami on Wednesday. James Butler on board with the man here as he looks to get up onto the podium. Martin Edmonds up ahead. Oh, he's giving him that bump. He's giving him the hurry up. And the championship leader, Richard DeRoche, directly behind. Butler trying to find his way around the white, blue, and red car of Martin Edmonds here for 3rd place. DeRoche in the mix, Kazchuk in the mix. A lot of penalties came in the first round, so hopefully we see a cleaner race here today. Or a dirtier race that's more entertaining. I don't know.
I mean, I'm always up for the entertainment of it.
I'm not here to tell you what you guys are here for in these commentaries. Some of you are here for great racing. Some of you are here for absolutely watching the world burn. And we're going to find out which we get to. So the top 2 are largely getting away a little bit. Edmonds is being really, really run down by Butler and DeRoche. And it's letting the top 2 escape a little bit. They'll be very intrigued to see DeRoche stay behind them for as long as possible. Steve Davidson, by the way, is on the charge. He's up in the top 10 along with Scott Nick. Falling down the order is Magic Kazchuk. He's had a problem. And Zach Hemstrom is also falling down the field. He has also had a problem. Richard DeRoche moving into 4th place there into Thunder Valley, overtaking James Butler.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure of that.
Fair enough.
They head into the carousel, which is the final turn on this track. Interesting note, the pit lane previously at Mid-Ohio had some definite issues with track limits. Hopefully they fixed that. Haven't raced since, but it'll be interesting to see if anyone has to pit, if they can avoid the penalties. As Butler gets a good run into turn 1 and might be able to bully his way back past here. The only problem is, and this is why I don't like the sprint layout at Mid-Ohio nearly as much, is that with the sprint layout, you have such a short run between turn 1 and turn 2, and it turns any advantage you gained in turn 1 into an advantage for the other driver. And there is one random hair that I missed while shaving, and it's bugging the shit out of me.
Is it coming right out of the end of your nose?
No, it's just in my beard. Like, there's this random hair that's sticking out, and I can feel it, and it's bugging me. So I will be shaving that off right when we're done here.
Just pull it out. Pull it out with your teeth.
Oh. How would I do it with my teeth? It's not that long.
I don't know. Be creative.
It's not that long. The beard is not like a proper like trying to think of whose beard I would be talking about here. Yeah, it's more like an Andrei Arlovsky beard, not an old man like long ass beard.
I'm an old man. Should grow the giant wizard beard.
I did that once. Didn't like it.
Doesn't matter, do it anyway. Grow the old man beard and then wrap it around your head like a babushka shawl.
James Butler looking to get back up into 4th place. He's on the tail there. That is Steve Davidson you're seeing there. Very nice delivery. I like that. He is battling with Corey Arnaud and John Barker over 7th place. And in behind them is Scott Nick and Michelle Crawl in 10th and 11th. Zach Wolf, by the way, having a good run up in 12th place. Good work for him. And Ariel Zatoni just... Somebody's falling back. Can we get James Butler on the screen, please? Because he is tumbling down the order. I would love to know what happened there. Oh, it's Kerry Arnaud. Pardon me. I thought it was Corey.
Carry me, carry.
I am not.
Me a little farther.
I am not familiar with Mr. or Mrs. Arnaud.
Yeah, I don't know. Human male or female, undetermined.
Undesignated human individual, human specimen.
But it may be the person I posted the "Carry Me, Carry" song at previously in the week, and
that would make sense. That would make sense. All right. Well, we're not going to know what happened with Butler, at least not on this broadcast. Check the Discord and see if Mr. Butler has given the story there, because he has fallen back down to 12th place, having run in the top 5 all race. So Richard DeRoche is clear from behind and now gets to fight with Martin Edmonds, one of the old school ESR rivalries here.
When do we get the racing series where everybody just drives an IROC?
If we had a game that could do that, we would probably make that happen.
IROCs and Miatas. That'll be the new series.
That would be fun. Personally, I would be down for like an all Viper series. That's the one I'm waiting for.
That would be pretty gangster. Or all Firebirds. I'm gonna call it the Reynolds Cup.
Richard DeRoche's got a bit of an inside line here on the run up to Carousel. Problem is that's going to turn into the inside line for Edmonds, who hangs on against the championship leader, at least for now. Camera going away at the wrong time.
Are you not following me, camera guy?
No offense, Steve Davidson, but I'd prefer the battle for 3rd place, because apparently Richard DeRoche has gotten past Martin Edmonds.
Good old Ricky D.
And there is the confirmation of it, the yellow and black car of DeRoche ahead of Martin Edmonds.
Oh, Ricky, you're so fast that there goes my pants. Hey, Ricky.
I mean, if you say so.
And in other news, I'm growing strawberries.
We'll see if Martin can make a comeback here. Do you have any purpose for these strawberries, or is this just a
consumption?
Just not a special dish or anything?
Not that I'm coming up with right now.
Right.
Maybe if I get real sassy and dangerous, they'd go into some booze or something. But
that's kind of what I was assuming. Scott Nick all over the back of Steve Davidson, looking to get up into 8th place. We'll see what he can do here.
Perhaps I could make myself some preserved, spreadable object. I believe it's called yam. But I think that's what the Swedes call it. I'm not too sure. put the peanut butter on the sandwich, and then you add some yam.
My sister is debating what kind of plants she should plant around her new property.
Venus flytraps and
She was,
thistles.
well, she was very big at like growing her own herbs and stuff, even at her. And to be clear, she had a very her other house. She owns 2 houses now. Her other house has very little land, like very small yard, embarrassingly small, and she was growing like basil and stuff. So now she's debating what she should plant at the new property. I imagine there will be a considerable selection.
Rosemary, thistles, and skunk cabbage.
Solid suggestions.
Gotta get that skunk cabbage up early, right? Get rid of that
Side
stuff.
by side, James Butler trying to climb his way back the field. Oh God, this is terrible, gentlemen.
Put him in the wall!
Gentlemen, you can't fight at China Beach like this. Magic Kazchuk swerving into Butler. And,
Sorry. Did you say China?
I said China.
China! This is the worst driving.
Let's not get too political.
This is the worst driving I've ever seen. But I don't
Back
watch
to-
driving.
Back to Butler and Kazchuk. I would like the camera to stay here for a little bit, because I think this is where the action's going to be right now. Also, wouldn't mind if we got a little look at David Wolf or Zach Wolf and David James, who are having a good little fight. They're guys who don't get the camera a lot, so when they're having a good battle, I'd like to get that on screen if we can.
9.
But instead, we will ride on board with Scott Nick as he tries to chase down Kerry Arnault. Steve Davidson directly ahead of him, and just a little bit up the road there is John Barker in the classic orange 80s car.
See, if anybody ever tries to pass Carrie, you can just pipe up with a little sassy pirate quip and like, "Arr, no."
It writes itself. Ariel Zatoni running in the top 5. Not sure if he played a role in the James Butler fall, because he was the car behind Butler. So there's some obvious options, but Butler may have also taken himself out. This is what happens when someone falls a bunch of places and it occurs off camera. We speculate, or well, I speculate. Byron
These gophers.
feeds that speculation.
Gophers with machine guns.
Meantime, we got a 4-way fight still going on here for. Oh! Mistake by Davidson opens the door for Scott Nick, and he is through up into 8th place, relegating the Canadian to 9th.
James Butler once told me he just drives so goddamn fast, sometimes that car just falls apart.
Also, a little bit of a squiggle from Kerry Arnault. Where do I know that name from? I feel like there's some hockey player or something named Kerry Arnault. But
Could be.
anyway, Steve Davidson looking to get back in 8th place here against Scott Nick. Nick made not so much a mistake. I think he just went for a move on Arnault, and it did not work out. They get into China Beach, though, and it is still Scott Nick ahead. Although he is riding those curbs hard.
It's your boy James Butler.
Butler versus Kazchuk continues. It's now for 10th place. Not sure how they got past Michelle Kral, but it appears that Kral may have made a mistake and has fallen back into 12th place.
And yet somehow you did not make somehow they crawled up into 11th joke.
I feel like Butler doesn't crawl anywhere in racing. Everything is very dynamic. And I'm getting that same impression out of Kazchuk. So, if Kral loses a spot to Zach Hemstrom, then we're making the Kral joke. Nick's still ahead of
Perhaps he
Davidson.
just crawled
but
over Atlantis.
oh, mistake there by John Barker. He's very off track. That's going to let Kerry Arnault up into 6th place, and also through goes Nick, and I suspect Steve Davidson can get through as well.
You tell him, Steve Dave.
In the meantime, James Butler, Magic Kazchuk, they're rubbing again going into China Beach. This is a little bit more door-to-door banging than the steward usually allows, gentlemen. I'm not sure you'll.
I'm with it. I'm good with it.
Yeah, but you're not the steward.
I could be.
We haven't seen a lot of the steward for this series, Tyler Agelli, but maybe Byron can put a good word in for him.
Tyler, if you're out there, it's fine. It's all fine. It's totally fine. Make your job easy. It's fine.
Ariel Zatoni getting a little out of shape there at the carousel. And in the meantime, heading into the carousel, we have, oh boy, more door banging, more banging between Kazchuk and Butler, and Michelle Kral looking to crawl his way back into the top 10.
They just not intentionally not put like crumple zone bang bang noises in this game.
If you're in the car, you can hear it.
But I'm not in the car.
I know. From the outside, well, here we are. We're in the car. Let's see if they give us some. Mistake there by Kazchuk leaves the inside open for Butler. And he has got the move done for the time being. In the meantime, Scott Nick looking to get up past Kerry Arnault. Nick is taking a very, very tight line into that turn. Just getting the number here. Turn 4. Oh, somebody off. That is Michelle Kral. And Butler and Kazchuk no longer have to deal with that threat as Zach Hemstrom moves into 12th place. David James, by the way, overtaking Zach Wolf into 14th place. He is out of the back. Ariel Zatoni running in 5th place. Scott Nick on the attack against the newcomer Kerry Arnault.
I feel like he's more of a terrestrial Zatoni.
And looking very closely also there, Steve Davidson and John Barker. Meantime, Zatoni versus Edmonds continues.
No John Picha.
Update on Richard Durocher, by the way. He's within a second of Andrew D. So he is looking to really minimize the damage of qualifying 7th. And might be able to get a little bit higher up.
Maybe he might even have to put in some destruction.
I mean, as championship leader, he probably won't do that. Ariel Zatoni looking to get up into 4th place. Further back, Butler and Kazchuk are still battling. About 0.4 of a second apart. Can we play at the camera there, please? That would be nice. And we do also still have that battle on for 6th place between Arnault, Nick, Davidson, and Barker. That's been going pretty well. Relatively short circuit, so we still have a couple laps to go. There is the championship leader in the black and yellow, Richard Durocher. Looking to take his 3rd podium of the series.
And if you were in the black and yellow, Mike is officially cheering for you because you represent his favorite team.
Nope.
The Hamilton
Oh, yeah,
Steelers.
No! I actually had to explain to Javier Perez Torres the whole story behind the Hamilton Tiger Cat name.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, they're not smart in Ontario, so they couldn't just say Tiger.
No. So I'm assuming I've never told you the story behind the name of the Tiger Cat.
No, I figured I just said the real reason, though.
No. Oh, boy! That's Scott Nick!
Scott,
do a barrel roll!
Car 54, where are you?
Not in the top 10 anymore. That's where he is.
I don't know, man. If he's in Australia, might already won.
Ariel Zatoni looking to make a move into carousel. Can we not do that, please?
I think complaining
We
about
had-
it's only going to make it better.
We had 2 side-by-side cars there, and no offense to Cash, Chuck, and Butler, because they've been entertaining as fuck, but that's not where the camera should be right now. And this is where it should be. Ariel Zatoni now in 4th place, having gotten past Martin Edmonds. I will save the story of the Hamilton Tiger Cats for the warm-up period, when we usually don't have a lot to talk about.
I think the same people name the Hamilton Tiger Cats that keep saying ice hockey. That's the story.
Well, there are 2 different types of hockey, but yes, whenever I say hockey, I'm not referring to field hockey.
Yeah. I feel like we need to be more...
Or roller
Maybe
hockey.
we should just embrace that. Maybe we should go further with it. Maybe we should talk about grass football and grass baseball and, grass soccer. Because I can't say football twice.
I mean, the grass soccer one would kind of make sense, because there is actually an indoor soccer, but it's bad.
Or we could start enforcing tennis rules and make them play on clay.
Ooh. I feel like most sports would not be very good on clay.
Not as good or better.
No, not even better, because actually it would just slow it down.
Everybody in the NFL has a blown out groin by like week 3.
That's not better.
I don't know.
Ariel Zatoni cutting that carousel very tightly as he tries to get back in front of Martin Edmonds. Richard DeRoche is all over the back of Andrew D, by the way, down to 0.3 of a second. So the battle for second place is on. And hey, camera guy, you following me on this one. You gonna love my nuts. Scott Nick has somehow managed to right the car and rejoin in 11th place. I'm surprised at that. As Zatoni takes a peek out from behind Martin Edmonds, but no overtake at this time. Let's see if you can get through. We got... Let's see here, lap times, they're pulling 1:23s. Maybe 3 more laps to go around mid-Ohio.
I have one suggestion that could make this whole thing even better.
What would that be?
Replace all engine sounds with the speeder bike from Star Wars. Woo!
Or the pod racer.
No.
Come on, the pod racer is the only good thing about the prequel trilogy.
Only if you could splicey the Terminator one. Have you seen that edit?
I have.
It makes me laugh a lot every time. This is pod racing.
Somebody a little out of shape there was David James having a moment as he entered Thunder Valley. DeRoche's still looking, and in the background we could see Zatoni still also battling. Looks like the Butler-Kashuk feud has finally kind of resolved itself. There's a 1.2 second gap now between the two. Still got a good battle going on between Kerry Arnault and Steve Davidson there for 6th place. John Barker still also in that mess. Ariel giving the universal speed up sign to Martin Edmonds with a little touch in the bump. Perhaps Martin needs an adult. Richard DeRoche, oh, he smells it. He wants it. He wants to... Well, he won't be lengthening his championship lead because Dennis Johnson is in 2nd place and is running in the lead. I don't think that win here is all that likely for Richard. But that 2nd place would help him out a lot.
Especially if you put everybody else in the wall.
That would help. But then he might also get a penalty.
Only one.
Well, if he put everyone in the wall, he would receive 14 penalties.
Only if you do it individually.
That's true.
Gotta be efficient.
Ariel Zatoni still trying to find his way into 4th place. Arnaud still hanging on to 6th against Davidson and Barker. Butler is losing ground to Kaschuk. Kaschuk's got down to a half second. He's catching Barker, but I don't believe at a rate that will allow him to have a shot before the end of the race. Scott Nick, Hemstrom, Crawl. No! Ariel way off the track.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he didn't hit the wall. But that is going to promote this group here to 5th, 6th, and 7th. That is Kerry Arnaud, Steve Davidson, and John Barker. Butler is also through, as well as Kaschuk. And Nick. Wow. I think Zatoni's out of the race. Yep, there it is. Ariel Zatoni in the pit lane, having been towed there. And he is done. Hopefully he's still here for race number 2, though. There is a chance to salvage a decent result.
Especially if you put everybody else in the wall.
John Barker looking down the inside, but nothing doing at this time. Last lap is probably upon us. Magic Kaschuk on the tail of James Butler. Battle for 8th place now. These guys, when they started battling, it was for 12th place. Now it's for 8th. You just stick to it and, things happen. Let's see if Arnaud can hang on here in his debut to 6th place, or 5th place now.
Congratulations, you've been promoted to 93rd place.
Interesting tidbit on this series. John Barker is the lowest man in the standings who has a podium. And your winner, Dennis Johnson. Andrew D hangs on against championship leader Richard Roche for 2nd place. And we're on board with John Barker as he looks to improve on his 7th. Edmonds 4th. Arnaud 5th. And 6th and 7th will go to Steve Davidson and John Barker. James Butler will hang on to 8th place against Magic Kaschuk. And rounding off the top 10, Scott Nick. Zach Hemstrom comes across the line in 11th. Now, I think it will either be this man, Michelle Crawl, or Scott Nick, who has pole for race number 2. We will find out when race number 2 comes upon us.
It's going to be Mike Stoffman.
I mean, it would not surprise me if Mike Stoffmill teleported right to pole position. By the way, shout out to Zach Wolf. 125.7 was his best lap. Only about 2.6 seconds off of the best lap overall. Improvements, it's coming. It's only about a half second off where I usually am, so it's been a good journey for Zach Wolf, and I've enjoyed commentating on it.
What were you going to say about the Hamilton Steel Cats?
Hamilton Tiger Cats. So the Hamilton at one point, way back before our time. I know we're old men, but
there was
a time before us. There were 2 football teams in Hamilton: the Hamilton Tigers and the Hamilton Wildcats. At some point, they merged into one team, keeping the Tigers and the Cats, thus becoming the Hamilton
They couldn't
Tiger
be the
Cats.
Wild Tigers? What kind of fucking moron made that decision?
It would have been a better decision, I admit.
God damn it, just ask anybody outside of the room that guy was in. A better decision instantly made.
Yeah, well, I mean, the owner gets to do what the owner does.
I guess.
Anyways, that is how the team name came about. Not the dumbest CFL name, that's for sure. Red Blacks.
Yeah, Ottawa always has the worst fucking name. No matter how many times they go out of business.
I mean, admittedly, I've always thought the Argonauts was a bad name for Toronto, just because I don't know, it doesn't really suit it. Like Argonauts feels like that should be something on one of the oceans. Like if Nova Scotia wanted to be the Argos, I'd be like, I'm down with that. That's cool. Journey across the sea, sort of thing. But Toronto, not really.
I mean, what about the Edmonton Eskimos? They're not even remotely close. They're basically a tropical climate.
Well, they're not the Eskimos anymore. They're the Edmonton Football Club now.
Are they?
Yeah, they're being forced to change, much like the Redskins.
I was kind of wondering how long that would take.
Yeah, that was always a weird one because I know Americans will find this absolutely stunning, but Edmonton's not in the Arctic Circle where the Eskimo people are actually
Not even close.
from. So, like,
they're from
again,
Alberta. It's a desert wasteland.
If you wanted to put a team in Yellowknife or Whitehorse or Iqaluit and call it the Eskimos, you could probably do that. That is Eskimo land. I'm not so sure about Yellowknife or about Whitehorse, but Yellowknife and Iqaluit would be. So, like, that would work. But Edmonton? Nah, not really. Basically, what I'm saying is there's not a lot of, like, particularly good names in the CFL. Like, the Stampeders, that works. Calgary Stampede, down with it. BC Lions is a classic animal name. That works. That's fine. Kind of like the Blue Bombers. Blue Bombers are okay. Rough Riders are
Makes sense.
fine.
They're in the fucking prairie.
Yeah, Rough Riders are fine. The problem is that in an 8-team league, we had 2 teams named the Rough Riders. That was the problem.
Ottawa's not original. Actually, which one was the original?
I'm going to say Saskatchewan, but I'm going to look it up. We got time.
That's a good idea. I want to say Ottawa just fucked up and couldn't come up with anything. Like, Rough Riders sounds good. We'll have what they're having.
It feels more like it suits Saskatchewan far more. Let's see your timeline.
They're a freaking prairie. They got horses
okay.
and no corners.
So let's see here. Saskatchewan Rough Riders joined as the Regina Rugby Club and then changed into the Regina Rough Riders in the 1920s. Ottawa Rough Riders actually did predate them, but there's a but here. Ottawa changed their name to the Ottawa Senators in the 1920s and then back to the Rough Riders while there was a Regina Rough Riders team.
Oh, so you can't do that. You can't just give up the name and they're like, no, we had it first. Besides, Ottawa Senators is so good. They should name like maybe a hockey team or something like that.
Indeed. We are off, by the way, here for race number 2, and it was top 10 reverse grid, so it was Scott Nick and Magic Kashchuk leading the way. And Nick is going to lead at the first corner. Kashchuk in second place, followed by John Barker, who got a good start away. James Butler nudging Barker around. Oh, no! Barker got into Kashchuk, who held it. Butler in fourth place. Fifth place is a battle between Richard Durocher and Kerry Arnaud right now. So championship leader, I assume. Just doing quick math in my head here. No, actually we have a tie. Dennis Johnson and Richard Durocher are currently tied in the championship. According to the math I just did right now, it may be wrong.
They're both tied for 3rd and 7th place.
Well, they were 10 points apart coming into today, 135 to 125. And the gap between first and second place in the scoring tree, if I'm seeing this correctly, is 10 points. So they are even right now. So we will see if Richard can hang on to his championship lead as he goes side by side with James Butler behind John Barker. 3 wide, baby! 3 wide! Dennis Johnson, in the meantime, is battling with Martin Edmonds. Andrew D in 9th place. Steve Davidson rounding off the top 10. We've lost 2 cars. Ariel Zatoni is one of them. And the other appears to be David James. So that's unfortunate. Butler versus Durocher. Durocher's got to drive this like a championship battle. It's not the end of the world if Butler. By the way, Butler has the same livery as Dennis Johnson. They're not teammates, but that's gonna be a storyline if Durocher gets nudged off by Butler. Not gonna lie. Meantime, out front is still Scott Nick leading the way from Magic Kashchuk and John Barker. oldest team in the CFL, by the way, Toronto Argonauts.
It's because they came from ancient Greece.
They have been in the CFL since the 1870s.
It's not bad. Back when it was just the Toronto Argonauts and two guys from down the street named Murray.
I mean, literally, it appears like the Argonauts were the original team in the CFL. There doesn't appear like there was anyone else there. It's a bit weird. Also was talking to Javier about how the American experiment was kind of doomed to start from the start. As Richard DeRoche shoving against John Barker, trying to set up for an overtake here into China Beach. By the way, this is about the only track, and I told this to Byron earlier. Oh boy! Richard DeRoche is on two wheels and flipping over into China Beach.
He almost held it, almost had a little help, and then fucked it up.
Almost did. I think that will give us a championship lead change unless DeRoche can rush back from doing a barrel roll. And it is still Scott Nick in front from Magic Cash, Chuck, third place Barker, Butler, Edmonds, Johnson, D, Arnaud, Hemstrom's up to 9th, and Crawl, your top 10. Wolves 11th. DeRoche rejoins ahead of Steve Davidson, who must have had some kind of a problem. What was your favorite of the American expansion teams in the CFL?
Honestly, I don't remember a lot of them, or hardly any of them, or really any of them.
I will always.
I'd have to say the Baltimore Colts.
I would go with the Birmingham Barracudas. I enjoyed their logo and their uniforms.
I have to pull this up now because I don't remember.
They were black and teal, which is an interesting combo.
Isn't that big ass song that all they said was black and teal, black and teal?
That's black and teal.
It was, we'll remember it as black and teal.
There is no wrong answer unless you answer the Shreveport Pirates.
Wow. I was a particularly big fan of the Baton Rouge motherfuckers.
Ooh. James Butler versus John Barker. Battle of the Brits, and if race one's rambunctiousness between Butler and Kaschuk was any indication, people with that flag take very unkindly to other people with that flag.
I was alright with it.
Martin Edmonds, Dennis Johnson in the background there. Oh, Martin got in on that, nudging Butler a little bit. Johnson and D coming up behind this, and Dennis Johnson going around the outside of Martin Edmonds. That will turn into the inside for turn number 2. Butler hangs on. Johnson hangs on.
The list of defunct CFL teams here. Is it possible to put a team in Texas and not have them just call it something retarded like the Texans?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad name.
It seems as though you can't put any kind of team in Texas.
They had Damon Allen as their quarterback.
Well, show me a team that didn't have Damon Allen as the quarterback.
Winnipeg.
I don't believe you. I think he played for them.
Montreal. There is actually only one quarterback who's played for all 9 teams in the CFL. And it's Kevin Glenn.
Oh, that's interesting.
Signed with Montreal on the practice roster. I'm like, did he do that just to get all the teams?
Yes.
He's got a wall in his house somewhere. It's like got the paychecks from all 9 teams.
You know what? I gotta say, best name for any of these expansion teams gotta be the Memphis Mad Dogs.
It was a solid name. It was a good name. Also, Damon Allen played for them.
Not shocked. It's got a pretty good green and yellow kind of motif going on here. They should think about importing that into the NFL. Maybe move it somewhere in like Michigan.
James Butler gets wide and gets collected by Martin Edmonds. It's going to send Edmonds back down. Surprisingly enough, Butler appears to have held it. Is still actually in fourth place. Meantime, who's that? That's Edmonds joining. There's Edmonds joining. Falling down the order. Dennis Johnson up to fifth place. And pretty importantly, I think for him, he's actually got... Oh, Andrew D might have gotten caught up in the Martin Edmonds stuff because he's dropped back to ninth. So Johnson in a good spot right now to take the championship lead. Still in the lead, Scott Nick from Magic Cash Check. Scott Nick, by the way, has confirmed that he will have a man on the Mean Machine. We just got to get around to making him a player.
Very nice. David Allen played for the Edmonton Eskimos, Ottawa Rough Riders, Hamilton Tigre Gatos, the Edmonton Eskimos, Memphis Mad Dogs, BC Lions. I remember that. He's hurt a lot. And Toronto Argonauts. He has won 4 fucking Grey Cups.
Magic Cash Check going for the lead, and he's got it.
Well performed.
That is still the best quarterback room of all time. The Edmonton Eskimos when Damon Allen was there. He was the backup to Matt Dunnigan. And are you ready for the third string quarterback?
Please let it be Anthony Calvillo.
Tracy Ham.
That's not bad. That'll do.
All Grey Cup winners.
Oh, your boy Damon Allen won 4 Grey Cups, 3 of them in different decades. Hardcore.
He's around for a long time.
Your boy, 85 to 2007.
Him and Matt Dunnigan came very close to starting for all the teams. I think Dunnigan is the closest to starting for all the teams. Kevin Glenn's been a member of all the teams, but he did not start. Dunnigan was an Argo, a Tie-Cat, a Bomber, a Lion, and an Eskimo. And was the coach of the Calgary Stampeders.
Shit. Damon Allen is 3rd place all-time in the CFL rushing yards? Oh, he was a quarterback, son.
Yeah, but very few running backs get that amount of time, and Damon Allen, at least early in his career, even to a degree later on, was very much a dual-threat QB. He could throw and he could run.
I mean
his
nowhere
brother,
near 2nd or 3rd place.
His brother is Marcus Allen. I mean,
yeah.
Say no more.
Yeah, I mean, he's 3rd place. 2nd place is like 5,000 more yards than him, and 1st place is a little bit more than that.
Who's 1st and 2nd?
1st place is Mr. Mike motherfucking Pringle.
I assume Pringle was one of the 2.
And 2nd place is George Reed.
Ah! John Barker still hanging on against Butler and Johnson. Johnson getting physical. I don't know about this move by Johnson. I feel like with his 2 main rivals pretty far down the field, DeRoche in 9th and D in 10th, he doesn't necessarily have to make risks to really make it pay off. Oh, God, 3 wide. Butler getting shoved around to the inside. Johnson trying to get around Barker. He's going to go wide, and he's going to lose that spot back to James Butler. And in the background, Kerry Arnault has got to be licking his chops. Or her chops. No. Again, we don't know.
Would you like to guess who has number 1 and number 2 for most rushing yards in one season?
Pringle.
Correct.
I would assume, honestly, Pringle.
Correct. 1994, he went 1,972 yards. 98, he went 2,065 yards.
Mm-hmm. Mike Pringle was a machine.
Correct. Once you pop, you can't stop. Would you like to know who has...
I feel like that really should have been his slogan at some point.
Correct. Most rushing yards by a quarterback, CFL, one season. Would you like to guess who was number one on the list?
Damon Allen is my immediate gut
Incorrect.
reaction, but Tracy Ham, maybe?
Correct. By 50 more yards, exactly.
Somebody getting dropped down the order there. I did not catch whom that
It would be Zach Wolf.
That was Zach Wolf? Okay.
I don't know. He's last, so I went with that name.
It could be. The gap is about right. And it did look like that might have been Steve Davidson making the overtake, so I think you may be right.
I might be.
Dennis Johnson has gotten back past James Butler and is trying desperately to get onto the podium here. By the way, Martin, you have an update. James Butler is not letting this die, though. He is a dog with a bone right now, and that bone is 4th place. He wants it. Magic Kashchuk now about a second ahead of Scott Nix, so he is pulling away a little bit, not too much.
Most rushing yards by a quarterback, top 4 or top 5, Tracy Ham, Damon Allen, Kerry Joseph, Tracy Ham, and Tracy Ham.
Yup.
He broke 1,000 yards twice and almost did it 998 yards. Almost had 3,000-yard rushing seasons for a quarterback.
Keep in mind, some of those 1,000-yard rushing seasons were with Mike Pringle in his back. Oh boy, Dennis Johnson going for it again. Butler goes wide. That might cost Butler. It's given Arno an opening. In behind them also in this fight is Zach Hemstrom, who kind of was nowhere in race number 1 and has now suddenly got an opportunity for a top 5. Johnson goes down the inside of Barker and gets the job done. Butler might be coming with. Barker trying to hang in there, trying to also get back against Johnson, and he might have. He's got the inside into China Beach. Let's see if he can get the job done. Johnson 3rd right now. Barker 4th. Butler 5th. But it could be any order coming out of China Beach here. Butler makes a mistake. Barker goes up on 2 wheels. He gets saved by the inside car of Johnson. They are banging doors. It is still not decided as we get into the S's. Mistake there by Kerry Arno. Opens the door for Hemstrom and Butler. My lord, the action is hot here. John Barker has come out ahead of Dennis Johnson in 3rd place. Then it is Hemstrom. Then it is Butler. Then it is Arno. So the big loser in that battle was Arno, who slips to the back of the pack. Well, this particular pack. To be clear, he's not in last place. That would be Michelle Kral, who is way back there. But Kral's had something happen. Not sure what. Butler's sliding up the inside there of Hemstrom there into 5th place. So this is not over. Barker's got a little separation right now, but I don't know if it's going to stay that way. And coming on very strong now, it's Richard DeRoche and Andrew D. who are catching up. Those are the 2 championship rivals of Dennis Johnson's. John Barker on the attack again. We pick him up on board. Johnson to the inside. Looking to maintain into China Beach. Can't see him. There he is. Butler also on the inside line. Inside line goes to Barker here. He's ahead for now. Inside's going to go back into the S's to Johnson. Can he get it? No. John Barker hanging on for now. But there is still 8.5 minutes to go here, ladies and gentlemen. And Dennis Johnson is game. James Butler's game. Butler getting hit by Hemstrom. They hang on somehow. And actually, somehow in this, Butler is overtaking Barker. And Hemstrom is overtaking Barker. Wow. That's amazing. That should not have happened. But it is now Johnson 3rd, Butler 4th, Hemstrom 5th. Barker has gone from the podium to 6th place, ahead of Kerry Arno, DeRoche in this mix, Andrew D in this mix, Edmonds, Davidson, Wolf, Kral, who I think is in the pits, because he's fallen down a lap. Oh boy. Oh, Arno very wide in the background. maintain position, it looks like, but wide again at turn number 2. I don't know if you can get that kind of invitation to DeRoche and not pay for it. Johnson needs to break away from this pack because his rivals are coming. I was saying that he didn't necessarily need to be tremendously aggressive in this battle. He does now because DeRoche is here and D is here. They're 8th and 9th place, but they are now on the back of this train. The Crawl is definitely out of the race because he's now falling 2 laps down to Zach Wolf. James Butler heading into the final section here, the 3rd sector. Looking to make it past. Championship tied, well, co-championship leader because they are tied, Dennis Johnson. Scott Nick is actually still in the battle. My alarm is going off.
It's time to wake up, Mike. It's all a dream.
No, I set the alarm the other day for I was playing MechWarrior Online and I wanted to, you know, be alerted when I needed to come out of the game.
Not the game.
Not the game! Not the game that I die for. Andrew D is overtaking Richard DeRoche for 8th place. That is pretty big, actually, in the championship hunt. Scott Nick is a half second or so away from the lead, and it's being completely overshadowed by this incredible battle for 3rd place. We have 3rd through 9th. Oh boy! Martin Edmonds has rolled it. Not sure what happened there. Edmonds was kind of on his own.
Well, he is a bit of a drifter. Might have killed a man or 2 on him.
Meantime, Johnson finally has himself a little bit of breathing room. Kerry Arnaud looking to get past John Barker. This is just a continuation of their battle from race number 1. As Andrew D goes 4 wheels off-roading. And Richard DeRoche trying to pounce on 8th place. And I think he's got it. Well, they are still side by side. Arnaud looking down the inside. I don't think there's anything there. And DeRoche is, for now, being held off by D, but he does have the inside line into turn number 2. And with that, he gets his way past championship rival, Andrew D. D is, by the way, one of 2 men to be on the podium in every race so far this season. The other is Richard DeRoche. They're in 8th or 9th now, although that is going to be improved because Kerry Arnaud making a big mistake there. I was going to say, they're now in 7th and 8th place, which seems like they're not really in the podium hunt, but Johnson is not far ahead of them. They just have to find their way past Barker, Hemstrom, and Butler. Who's your money on to take this podium? Johnson, Butler, Hemstrom, Barker, D, or DeRoche, Byron?
Nick.
He's ahead of this battle, though.
Exactly. He's already won.
I see. I think Johnson probably has it. He's managed to get a decent gap to Butler with 3.5 minutes to go here. Who knew Volkswagens could be so fun?
Well, you don't step on them and squish them out and make them all long and weird looking. They're pretty alright.
Scott Nick looking for victory. I'm not sure if Scott has ever won an ESR proper race. I do have Race App open, so I'm going to quickly open up his resume and see if that is the case. Race app is taking. Oh, Andrew D off the track. Opens the door for Richard DeRoche, who is banging it. Scott Nick has never won an ESR official race, so there you
go. Well, I mean, he is pretty insane. So
Richard DeRoche picking up 7th now. And there is the battle for the lead. Scott Nick trailing Magic Kazchuk. And let it also be known, Magic Kazchuk looking for his first ESR victory as well. So it looks like, fingers crossed, we will have a first-time winner, regardless of how this goes, unless they take each other out, and then Dennis Johnson will power his way to a doubleheader here at Mid-Ohio.
Ha-cha-cha.
See Johnson in the background has closed the gap to about 2.5 seconds. Richard DeRoche now going to war with John Barker. That is over 6th place for the co-championship leader.
Oh, there's a name. I'm just sort of leisurely scrolling through these CFL records. There's a name from the past. Most defensive tackles in a career. Motherfucking Willie Pless.
The legend.
Now there was a man who once played football. 1,241 defensive tackles.
An amazing ability not to get injured. Richard DeRoche looking around the outside at turn 2. That's not really going to bring anything to you for you, Richard. I think you need to set up for China Beach. Scott Nick has dropped down a little ways behind Kazchuk. It's looking like Kazchuk might get that first W. Last lap here at Mid-Ohio. Is Kazchuk leading Nick, leading Johnson, Butler, Hemstrom, Barker, who is under fire from Richard DeRoche, Andrew D, Kerry Arnaud, Martin Edmonds, Steve Davidson, and Zach Wolf still running here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Course.
Most defensive tackles in one season. Solomon Elimimian, and Solomon Elimimian.
Is what he does.
There's another guy who sneaked one in there, and the dude 5th place.
And we come across the finish line. Checkered flag is out. Magic Kazchuk celebrates his first ESR victory. Scott Nick, 2nd place. 3rd place going to Dennis Johnson, James Butler. Then it's Hemstrom. Then it's Barker. Then it's DeRoche, Andrew D, Kerry Arnaud. There's mayhem at the start-finish line as some people are coming to a stop foolishly. Martin Edmonds coming in 10th place after rolling the car.
I'd like to congratulate Irish Scotch Nicholas for not fucking that up.
Steve Davidson in 11th place, and then Zach Wolf will bring up the rear. Got a retirement from Michael Krall. Not sure what the story was there. We didn't see what happened.
I believe 3 of his 4 Pistons went flying straight through the roof.
I would normally give you an update on the standings here, but I don't have that available. It will be Dennis Johnson who leads the championship from Richard DeRoche and Andrew D, I am assuming. And then some conflagration of Butler and Barker and Kazchuk after that. But that's all I can give you for now.
Correct.
Bug Martin, he'll get the standings updated.
Martin. Oh, buddy.
All right, coming up on the ESR channel here, we are going to have the 3D Speed race from Kyle Almy. It'll be on Wednesday, and commentary will probably be up Thursday, I would think. And we've also got action. We got the 3rd round of the Scirocco, which is next up at Karlskoga. And then on Sunday, we got the ESR Academy from Kyle Almy, as well as the classic car 2016